All right, we are doing something a bit different today. We are moving away from jaw harps and such, and we are going to look at my first homemade instrument, which is this cajon. And over the years, I've been adding my stickers. And this is a cajon that I made, and I have a ching ring, which is like a little tambourine that I hang on there. Anyway, this was made out of plywood that I picked up from the hardware store, and got easy instructions from online, and the sizes and everything. If you can see, that's percussion 2014. And then that is what I wound up doing for the snares. Because at the time, I didn't have a drum set. I only had my electronic drums, my V drums. And most cajons do have what's called snares that are mounted on the inside in the same spot, and these are what they look like. And what these are strapped to the bottom of a snare drum. So if you can imagine a snare drum, this is on the bottom skin, and it's what makes the snare sound. So this one finally broke. I couldn't, even though they're only 14 bucks or so to replace these, I couldn't bring myself to buy a new one and chop it up and put it in here. So for the past decade, I've been dealing with bottle caps and little bells. And my snare on my drums finally did have a strand that come loose and broke, as you can see. So I'm gonna cut this in half, and we're gonna try putting one in at first and see what it does, and then we're gonna see what two do, I think. And we're gonna compare the sounds. So, let's give a little quick taparoo on its original sound. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this. And I don't think we need to film all this, do we? Let's be back in a sec. Okay, so I have paused. I've cut the, I paused the video, and then I cut the snares right in half, kind of on an angle, so we've got different lengths, which might have kind of slightly different effect. I don't know, it's probably negligible. This one missing a strand because that's where it broke. So I'm going to start with this one, and all I'm going to do is just staple it to the inside. Let's see how that goes. All right, there we go. Oh. One quick staple at the top there, and it's going to dangle down. So let's see how it sounds. I don't really want the snare sound across the entire surface of this part. Oh, we'll see. It does rattle. I don't know if I like that. No, I don't like that. I'm going to see if I can do something different. Okay, so here's what I wound up doing. I left it in there. Oh, let me get the flashlight again. Oh, there we go, we can see. There. Left it in there, but I taped the very bottom of it. Now I originally taped kind of in the middle. Didn't seem like it made any difference to the sound. This seems to be very minimal. Maybe adds a little bit of texture to it. I think what I should have done is probably left the snare intact and then gone straight across maybe the top. Fastened it there, fastened it over here somewhere. Something like that. Give it a little bit of tension. That's the problem. These were dangling too much. I didn't like the sound of it. So hopefully this adds a little bit of texture and depth to the snare sounding portion of the cajon. So we'll see. Not going to pull it out, just going to leave it. See, the idea is you want kind of a sloppy, rough sounding snare tone at the top part of it. And I've also left no nails in this portion here, so the wood can kind of slap against the frame a little bit more, whereas down here, it's more tight. And then of course the bottle caps and the snare and stuff helps give that extra texture to it. And so forth. We'll leave it at that. Adios.